Many scientists have performed experiments in order to study the arrangement of these subatomic particles inside an atom, and all their experimental observations has been concluded, and they have proposed various models for the structure of atom. So the first scientist who contributed in this field is J.J. Thomson. In the year 1898, he proposed the plum pudding model for atoms. According to J.J. Thomson, atom is spherical in shape with a radius of 10 to the power minus 10 meter, and protons are uniformly distributed, whereas electrons are embedded within them. If you want to visualize this model, you can consider a watermelon where the reddish part of the watermelon is considered as that protons which are present in the atom, whereas the black color seeds of the watermelon can be visualized as electrons which are embedded in the protons. Atom as a whole has uniformly distributed mass, and the number of protons as well as number of electrons are found to be equal, which tells that atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Thomson's model can also be visualized as a plum pudding or resin pudding. Hence the name we have is as watermelon model, plum pudding model and resin pudding model. We all know that electrons are capable to move freely, whereas according to Thomson's model, the electrons are embedded within the protons. So the biggest limitation of Thomson's model was that he considered electrons are fixed to a particular place, whereas those electrons are capable of moving freely. Rutherford's experimental studies led to the proposal of nuclear model of atom. In his alpha particle scattering experiment, Rutherford used a thin gold foil and he bombarded alpha particles from a radioactive source into the gold foil. This gold foil was surrounded by circular zinc sulfide screen around it. Whenever these alpha particles which have the penetrating power passed through the gold foil, there were spots made on the zinc sulfide screen. According to Thomson's model of atom, mass is uniformly distributed in an atom. Therefore, the alpha particle which has high penetration power, when it passed through the gold foil, the velocity of alpha particles should slow down. But the results of alpha ray scattering experiment was so unexpected that they observed most of the alpha particles directly passed through the gold foil and they hit the zinc sulfide screen. Only a few alpha ray particles scattered with some angle, and 1 of 20,000 alpha particles deflected back at 180 degree. So what can be concluded from these experimental observations is that since most of the alpha particles directly passed through the gold foil, we can tell that most of the space inside an atom is empty. And secondly, since the alpha particles has deflected, we can tell that these alpha particles which are positive in nature and something inside the nucleus which is positive in nature, both are repelling one another, and therefore this deflection has been occurred. It means that the positively charged particles, that is the protons, are concentrated on a small region in the center of the atom that causes the deflection of alpha particles. Rutherford also calculated the volume occupied by the nucleus, and he found that it was very much small compared to that of the volume of the atom. And he found the radius of the nucleus was about 10 to the power minus 15 meter, whereas the radius of the atom was 10 to the power minus 10 meter. If we want to visualize about the size of atom as well as nucleus, we can imagine a cricket ball at the center of the stadium, and 5 km would be the radius of the particular atom. According to Rutherford's nuclear model of atom, it can be told that atom has a positively charged region at its center which is densely bound at the center, and this small region where positively charged particles are concentrated is called as nucleus of the atom. This nucleus of atom is surrounded by electrons which are revolving around the nucleus in the circular orbits. This model of atom can be visualized as similar to our solar system, where Sun at the central part of solar system can be considered as nucleus of an atom, and the planets which are revolving around the Sun are identical to that of the electrons which are revolving around the nucleus.